Welcome to the She Means Business Show, where our mission is to activate your confidence, amplify your voice, and help you align to your power. Today, I'm so excited to introduce you to one of our She Means Business Top 40 2025 Women to Watch, the amazing powerhouse Sue Bonzell. So before we jump into it, I will read her bio, which is very diverse. You'll see she is so talented in so many different areas. But Sue Bonzell is a multi-industry entrepreneur with nearly 30 years of experience in marketing, media, and business development. Her career includes 2 decades in country radio as both an on-air personality and marketing director, leadership as chief marketing officer for her family's California winery, and a successful run as a top producing realtor. She's the creator, producer, and host of the Up and Country TV show, spotlighting rising country artists in the Nashville scene. Today, she leads Bonzell Media and created the On Purpose marketing program, equipping Christian women entrepreneurs with strategic clarity and sustainable, values-driven growth. She also hosts Country Christian, a nationally aired internet radio show blending faith, music, and storytelling. So welcome to the She Means Business Show, Sue.
Well, thank you so much. I know it sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
It is a lot. Don't you underestimate yourself now, because we put you in the spotlight here.
Okay, I take it.
Right? So take us back. You've accomplished so many things. Where did it all begin, and how did you get where you are right now?
Well, it has been a varied road. I'm interested in so many different things, and I think that, God puts these little ideas to me, and I've had to learn over the years to not act on every single one, and have a little more discernment. But, let's be honest, he gives me ideas, and, I want to run with it. So I started, years and years ago. I have a degree in graphic design. I always had a passion for that, which has served me very well in all of the things that I have done. And that's where I kind of started immediately out of college, was doing graphic design. I started my own business. I wanted to do graphics, and then I ended up naturally, those clients needed marketing help. They weren't sure exactly what they were doing or how they needed to do it. So I was, helping them with marketing and also training myself at the same time. I was in my 20s. I was still learning a lot. And so I started doing that, had a great idea for this. It was a promotion company that I wanted to do, doing some party stuff. I was promoting local businesses with it, and had the opportunity to go on air on the local radio station, and to promote this. And I said, I've always wanted to do a weekly show to talk about what's happening in the area. And they said, okay, well, I think we can do that. And so they gave me a shot, and that's how I ended up in radio, not even trying. It was like, okay, I guess I'm doing radio now. And they trained me, and I started doing radio, had a great time with it. And just, I have a love of country music, and just kind of started there. Like I said, my life is just like a little bit of a roller coaster, but opportunities come to me, and I say yes most of the time. And then, as you mentioned, my family, I'm originally from California. Don't worry, I love Tennessee. God called me to be here for a specific reason. And so that's why I'm here, and I love it in Tennessee. And in California, my parents had a very small winery. And so we had so much fun in that business, and getting to promote that. I got to know a lot of local business owners and local wineries, and the media, and all of the things that you would do to promote a small venue like that. And we had the opportunity to win a big award. So the San Francisco Chronicle competition, which is the largest wine competition in North America, selected one of our wines as the top red wine out of thousands of wines. And so it was a huge honor. And so yeah, it was pretty cool. And so getting to push that out, eventually we ended up selling the winery, moving on and going on to different things. But I've always had my hand in marketing, and marketing is my jam. Like, I get with people and I'm like, hey, we could do this, and what about this, and hey, I got an idea for that. And that's when I said, okay, this is really the true calling that God has really called you to.
Amazing. I'm taking so many notes. Going to the starting with the winery. One of
Yes.
the first couple issues was the amazing L.E.N.S. who has 1111 wines in Napa. So
Yes.
anyway, just connecting the dots there. But let's talk about marketing for a second because I have a little bit of a background in that too. So I'm curious. I feel like with the women I've come across in so many masterminds or what have you, that is such a need and there's such an expense to it, right? So what I heard you say is that you kind of like were self-taught, like you were teaching yourself all of these things along the way, along with your expertise. But what do you feel like is the biggest need for female entrepreneurs regarding marketing specifically?
So I think that, marketing, we know that it is such a key element of being an entrepreneur. And no matter what you're doing, I've got clients I've got one that's got a swim club. She's teaching coaches how to do safety swim for babies and toddlers. It's amazing. I have a construction company. I have all these different things that I work with. And one of the things that I've seen over and over again is a little bit of there's a scatteredness. It's like, well, I think I should be doing this. I know I'm supposed to be posting on social media, but usually they say I hate social media. That's the ongoing battle. But I think that a lot of the frustration and the struggle of the confusion and the, scatteredness of it all is that there's a lack of foundation. And this is where, I talk to a lot of people and I will say, okay, what's your mission or what's your vision? And they usually have a general idea about it. I have a general idea of what mine is. And when I started to like write things down, so when you have a mission and your mission and vision will change. It will grow with you as your company grows, right? It's not like, okay, I did it 20 years ago, I'm good to go. And it's a tool. So you have to use your mission, your vision, your why, taking time to really identify those things about, what does this mean to me? And who am I serving? That's one of the most important things is who am I serving?
Mhm.
Not everybody. I know a lot of businesses we feel like we can help everyone, and maybe we can, but you really have to get clear exactly who that target market is. And once you get this, and I've done this exercise with clients where I've made them go back through and I'm like, we're going to work on your mission and vision. And they're like, don't want to do it. But I'm like, let's just do it. Humor me, right? And and I've had clients tell me, "Wow, I have a renewed passion for my business. I get it now. I see the bigger vision." And when you get that, that's when you say, "I want to get on a mountain and tell everyone." I don't mind getting on the social media. I don't mind posting about something. I'm clear about what I do, who I'm doing it for, and what the bigger picture is, how I'm serving, how what your gift is serving the world. And for me, I feel like the way I'm starting to work with Christian business owners is, we're called with a gift that God has given us so that we can ultimately build the kingdom. So that's the bigger mission. So
Oh my gosh. All of that advice was so important. So, like, that's like a whole session of marketing in itself, just the
exactly.
theory around it, the mission, the vision. And I love that you said it will change because I feel like so many, I know I have friends, they're like, but, I started here and along the way, now I think I want to do all these things. And that's kind of the transformational process of connecting to your purpose and it's okay if it changes, I feel like
Yeah, I agree with you because a lot of times, like I said, God gives me all these ideas, and sometimes you have to step in a certain direction. God still calls us to action. We can't just sit on the couch and say, "Okay, make me a millionaire." I know you want abundance for me. Make it happen. We have to take the steps forward, and when we do, that's when you might get light bulb things that you might say, "You know what? I thought this was going to be a good idea, but maybe not. Maybe I need to pivot back this way, or maybe something else opens up." So it's not a bad thing to try something, change a little bit, and pivot along. Not to say that you got to pick up every single thing that comes around because I did that for many, many years. So
no, I love it. It's just, step one, just show up, right? There's so
yes,
much to that. And then two, show up and just take one baby step, take some sort of
Yes.
action and, just start letting it unfold. And then find someone like Sue to work with who can guide you and help you with that clarity because that is so important. So,
Yeah.
so much I want to talk to you about here because you mentioned social media as well. And I am a big, advocate of helping women have more confidence because that was a huge struggle for me. So, do you feel like, were you always just kind of innately confident, or what was that kind of first step for you to like really, step into what you're doing in a more confident way?
Obviously I'm an extrovert. So I mean, I love people. I love chatting with people. I'm talkative. I used to get in trouble when I was in school, for talking too much. Every single report card says talks too much, disturbing class. That was me, which, okay, then I went into radio. Perfect. And I think it is intimidating to, go on air, to turn the camera on, to, be talking on a podcast, to start a podcast, those types of things. It's intimidating, especially now, because there are so many people out there doing, these amazing podcasts and all these things, but you have to start somewhere. And I can tell you that every single person that started, even me, when I started doing videos, my stuff is garbage. When I first started, garbage. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but you know what? You can't let that stop you. Get out there. You have a voice for your business. When you have that passion and you know that vision, you know the bigger point of everything that you're doing, get on camera, get on a podcast, go get on a stage, get up there and talk about it. If we look biblical, we can go to Moses, where God calls Moses, and Moses is like, "I'm not your guy. I can't even barely speak. I don't have good words. I'm not good at this." And he called Moses to be who Moses he saved the Israelites. So, you have to remember, even though you feel like maybe I don't have the skills, God's going to give you the skills. And if he has given you a business, he's put on you to get out there and be visible and talk about your business. It's not about, oh, look at me, look at me. It's what is my business doing to help other people?
Right.
So,
Going back to your mission on who am I serving, right?
right,
And
right.
I think too, people think you are an extrovert and so easy to talk to, but confidence doesn't come before courage. Like you have courage and then
Yes.
the confidence follows.
Yes.
It's not the opposite or the other way around. And then for those watching on YouTube, I was nodding my head like this when you were saying if my first work was, not the best. I was nodding because of mine, not, not agreeing with you.
But the thing is so funny, which is kind of a great thing, is I kept a lot of my old stuff for multiple reasons. I mean, a lot of people tell you you should probably go back, and there's probably a lot of things I should probably delete, but um, I love to be able to go back and be like, wow, I've come a long way. Like, and
Right?
it's just like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And here's a tip that I can give some of your ladies, that if you're worried about getting on camera and you're like, I feel silly, I don't feel like I don't look right, I'm not speaking right, put on your camera, get a tripod, get a cheap little mic. You can get an inexpensive little clip-on mic that goes with your iPhone, on Amazon. Set it up, have a nice background or a clean background, and just start talking. You don't have to post it. Just start talking. And you might even find a little clip in there that you go, "Oh, okay, that actually sounded pretty good. I can grab that and I can post that."
That's
So,
great advice.
yeah, I mean, there's no just you could have hours and hours of video on your phone that you never post. But the point is, you're practicing, you're getting better, you're getting comfortable. So yeah,
And
it's a skill like anything else.
that freeze when someone puts like the phone in your face or you know you're recording and you're like, but it's helped
Yeah.
with that too. And I know when I was overcoming my social media fears, I ended up doing a bloopers reel of like all my mess ups.
Yes. And those are some of the best ones.
Funny. And I was like,
Yes.
if I'm going through this, I hope these bloopers can help someone else because it's not, you know,
Well, and I love that you did that because that's the other thing that everybody thinks that everything needs to be so perfect. And I sometimes get caught up in that as well. I'm like, it's not quite perfect. But I truly feel that, especially right now, people want authenticity. They want to see the real you. You know, if you don't say everything perfectly or you mess up or you whatever, who cares? Who cares? And if people are going to hate on you for that, who cares? I don't
who
know what to tell
cares?
you.
It's so true. Well, so speaking of authenticity, let's talk about what do you feel like throughout your very successful career was kind of or not kind of, was the biggest obstacle or time of your life that you really had to overcome where, it was just a hard time, but you got through it?
You know, I would say it's interesting because I don't really see a lot of super hard, difficult times because I always kind of knew God was going to get me through. And I've had plenty of ups, downs, highs, lows. You know, I've had all of that. I think moving to Tennessee, coming all the way from California to Tennessee, starting over where I literally knew like two people here. I didn't know anyone. But I figured out this was after I had gotten here that God truly did call me to be here. And just knowing that, okay, I'm going to try something different. It was a risk. I was leaving the only home I had ever known. So the town that I lived in, the county, it is was my since birth. Had not lived anywhere else except for when I went to college, but still in California. Um, and so moving across country to a whole nother state was a little bit scary,
Yeah,
a little bit scary.
million
Um,
percent.
and kind of starting over and trying to meet people and get connected and, start a new life. But again, I go back to, I know that God was with me, and I knew that he was not going to let me fail. So, and I feel like since I've been here, I've been thriving even more than ever. And I mean, I'm 56 years old, so I've had a lot of life until this, and now I feel like everything's even better now than it was then. So even in the highs, in the lows, things right now are so good. I know that God called me to be here. I know he called me to this business. I know I just got to go back to there will be times when it's hard, but just knowing that God has us exactly where we're supposed to be, like whatever path you're on. And even in the difficult times, like he knows it. He knows you're there and he has got a bigger plan that I don't know. And so that gives me a lot of comfort to know that he's got a plan. I just have to, listen as much as I can, be obedient when I'm supposed to, and sometimes I don't. But he's gonna put us in the right place, and he knows when you're gonna mess up. He already knows. So he's already provided for your stupid mistakes. It's like it's okay. He already knows.
You are such the like quintessential entrepreneur to me because you said so many things. I'm like over here taking all these notes. One, I was doing this research about entrepreneurs and traits that successful entrepreneurs have. One is risk taking,
Yes.
and one just watching you is your optimism. So is optimism and risk taking were like part of the top five. So I'm just sitting
Yeah.
here watching, like, oh my gosh, you're such a great example to so many women. And what else was there? Oh, and regarding starting over, and yes, what a huge risk. But I
Yeah.
feel like whether you're moving from state to state or across the country, starting over can be from divorce, it can be from
Yes.
so many things, even if you're just in a place of recovering from addiction. There's so many start
Mhm.
overs, right?
Yes,
So I love you mentioned that.
we
Uh,
do have, I love that we do have startovers.
right.
I mean, because if you kept going in the same path that wasn't working, that's no fun. Okay, we're gonna have a do-over.
You have a choice, and
Yes.
so I lived a lot of my life not realizing I had a choice. Just
Yeah.
kind of felt this stuckness. There was definitely part of my life where I felt that. And then, I know that sounds crazy, but I didn't know there was other options for me. So
Well, it's hard to, I think that when we get in those places, we kind of do put our blinders on a little bit and we get very comfortable,
comfortable.
even in the places that we say, I don't want to be in this place. I don't like it. I don't like it. I want something different. I want to get out of, like you mentioned, I want to get out of addiction. I want to get out of, poverty mindset. I want to get out of, this terrible relationship, whatever those things are. But when we've been in them and we've had, training of other people teaching us or telling us, lying, if you will, about who we are, it's easy to get to to feel comfortable in that. It's what you already know. So
Right.
stepping out of that because you say you don't want it, but stepping out of it is scary. It's scary because you don't know what's on the other side. So I mean, I know that. I know it's scary.
It is, and that's that risk taking. And then you mentioned listening, like you knew God's with you, and if you would just listen. So I feel like so many women, we're multitaskers, we're doing a million things at once, and it's hard to slow down and listen. And I always say, kind of for me, praying is asking, meditation is listening. But I'm just curious, like, what does listening look like for you? How do you like slow yourself down to actually hear what He's saying to you?
So, well, we go with the business. So, one of the things that I encourage and teach with my clients is that in this business, this is God's business. So, as we know, everything that we've been given is from God. It's God's money, it's all God's. And so, when we know that it's His business, we have the opportunity to steward the business. So that means, there are, when I'm sending out an email where it's something that, maybe it's a proposal or it's a, something like that, I'm praying over my email. I'm asking that it, is being heard in the right way. It's being presented in a helpful way. I'm praying that if this is the right person that I'm supposed to be working with, those types of things. And so that's number one is just calling God into your business for decisions. If you're choosing to, a lot of times, coaches like myself, okay, we're creating a new program. And I just had this experience just at the end of last year where I had my one program and, I'm like good but something was not quite right. And I was hearing him say something to me and I was like, okay, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. So now let me readjust this a little bit. And when I did, I went, oh, okay, now I get it.
I love
Now
that.
I get it. And so it is a slowing down. As being an entrepreneur, you do have to make decisions. I make pretty quick decisions. And sometimes, you go, that was probably the wrong direction, but that's okay. We can, like we said, we can pivot a little bit. But also being able to, and this is learned for me. Does not come easily to me because I'm a move fast kind of person, is to sit with it. Like, I got this great idea. I'm going to build this whole thing. Da 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 da. Let me sit with it for just a little bit. Just give it a day, maybe even a couple days. Build a little bit, see how it goes. And I kind of feel like when it rolls, okay, here we go. We're rolling. And when the doors start opening, okay, we're good. But yeah, just taking some time to really look at things. The other thing is, like you said, rest. As business women, and especially women, I think especially women, we push, 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 push. I mean, I'm a single woman. It's all on me. So, you know, I got to push. And it can be really tempting to work 7 days a week, 60 hours a week, all the things. And I have to tell myself, okay, I'm going to close the office door and I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and I'm going to do my Bible reading. I always do my Bible reading in the morning. I've carved out that time to making sure that God gets my first amount of time every day. That's really important to me. And when taking the time to, I will admit, sometimes I do take a nap in the middle of the day.
Hey,
It's true. I will.
do it.
And I've learned taking those breaks, I'm doing it guilt-free. So when we did that summit that you got to be one of my guests on called Guilt-Free Marketing, that's one of the things. We don't need to feel guilty about taking time for ourselves, taking a break. Whether it's during the day or a lot of times weekends. I don't work on Sunday anymore. I used to. But I've called that my Sabbath. I go and I spend a lot of time at the church. I'm volunteering. I'm taking the day to Sabbath, and I'm trying really hard not to think about work because the list of things to do is never going away. I could literally work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the list would never stop. So
So true.
I gotta step back.
I love that. This is all such good advice. So we're gonna do a speed round next.
Oh,
But
okay.
one last thing. I know you've given tons of advice today, but is there anything else that we haven't already mentioned that you just feel super called to share with women entrepreneurs and specifically?
Yes, and I would say if you are like myself, a solopreneur or a small team, I think it's really important that you have community. I think it's really important that you have some kind of coaching or accountability. I have a coach myself, and so when we are depending on ourselves to get things done, a lot of times we put off the things we don't want to do. Maybe it's doing that social media, because it's like, I don't really want to do it. I'll put it off, and I've been guilty of that too. Sometimes I don't love it, but you got to have accountability where your coach is going to say, "Hey, remember what we talked about last week, and let's come back to the vision and keep you motivated and encouraged in those times when you're feeling like, which I think every single entrepreneur has said, forget it. You know what? I'm done. I'm closing shop. I'm out. I'm so done with this. I'm just going to go get a job. And I'm unemployable. So, I'm a great employee, but I do not want to work for anybody else. So I have got to make this work. So
I hear you, sister. So amazing. So, how can we work or the audience work with you? Find out more, follow you, tell us
yes.
all the things.
Yes, you can just go to SueBonzell.com. That's the great place to start. I've got links to all of my programs. I've got links to everything that I do right there at SueBonzell.com. And I've got a freebie on there. You can get a free foundational marketing blueprint. If you want to download that PDF, you can get that there. And then I've got my other programs. The one that I love, and this is where we really dig deep into the foundation, is called Seek First. And so, again, starting that foundation with building a business with God. That's the Christians that I'm working with, or women who are consider themselves believers, but really haven't quite infused a little bit of their beliefs into their business and bringing God into their business. And so, and I don't want that to sound like people go, I don't want to be talking about Jesus, about all of my. That's okay. You don't have to be. But I still believe God called you to your business. And so there are ways that you can definitely bring God into your business. So
Amazing. Soulpreneur. I love that. Hey, who doesn't want more freebies on marketing? So thank you so much for
exactly.
sharing that.
Absolutely.
Okay, now it's a speed round. Are you ready?
Okay. I hope
Pretty
so.
intense.
Okay.
What is your zodiac sign?
Cancer.
You're a can. Oh, I can see that. Okay, something that's always in your purse.
Always in my purse. Tic Tacs. I'm mildly addicted to Tic Tacs. The wintergreen flavor.
Wintergreen specifically. And Okay, so as you know, I'm also in the music industry, so I'm always curious to know your favorite artist, genre, song, whatever comes to mind there.
I probably, I've kind of switched a little bit. I was doing, as I mentioned, that you're talking about speed round, and here I am. I want to tell stories. I was doing country, but now I listen to pretty exclusively Christian music. Phil Wickham is my guy. I went and saw him in Brandon Lake, in Nashville, and it was so
Amazing.
good, so good. Yes, Phil Wickham, amazing guy.
So good. I love Lauren Daigle too. She's one of my
Oh, so good.
uh,
Yes,
um favorite personal development tool, meaning book, podcast, anything that's really helped you.
the Bible. Everything you need to know is in the Bible, even for business. So the stuff that I teach built on biblical principles and marketing and business is all in the Bible.
Love it, love it, love it. What is a self-care tip you can't live without?
Naps. I I'm sorry, I'm older now. I feel like I'm
I
over
hear you.
55.
That's
I'm
probably not
over 55. I can nap.
everything. Amazing. And last question, what does she means business mean to you?
Oh, okay. Well, I think that it means that we are called as women to be very responsible. And, we are talking to business owners, but we as women wear so many hats. And so she means business. That means you're getting down to business in your personal life, in your business, in your relationships, in your volunteerism, in your community. We're not holding back. You mean business. Let's get down to it. It's very, very important because of what God has called you to.
I love that. No holding back.
No
Perfect.
holding back.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We're so grateful
Absolutely.
for you. We're so grateful that you are one of our top 40 2025 women to watch in 2025. And I
125.
can't wait to see what you're going to do this year. Thank
Awesome.
you so much for all of your tips, your advice, and for everyone watching. I know you have heard something that has activated your confidence, amplified your voice, and helped you align to your power. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.